Maido! Hi there, Japan fans. Today's show, we are going to be talking about disasters. Present or Master Shimasho. This is the 7th year of the Presentation Japan Series podcast, and we are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku in Tokyo. And I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de okane o muda ni suru no wa yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. Through this podcast, I want to help you to become a better speaker, to be 1. Clear, 2. Confident, 3. Persuasive, and 4. Highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcasts hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday, the Business Touches in no Oshie show. Wednesday, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery show. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 326. Today we're talking about how to recover from a presentation opening disaster. We all know that first impressions are critical, but what happens if you blow it? There are a couple of typical ways we can hurt our credibility at the start. Trying a joke that bombs is a very common credibility and personal and professional brand destroyer. You think you are funny when you aren't. Or you think the joke is funny, but you are a crowd of one in agreement on that point. Think back how many talks you've attended where the speaker told a joke that made you laugh rather than cringe. I doubt there will be many, and probably you just observed the joke, laughed, and then moved on, rather than analysing why that humour worked. This means you gain no insight into joke telling. But here you are, the amateur comedian, trying out your own untested material on this business audience. What do you do when it bombs? You can just ignore the groans and move on, or you could attempt a recovery. If it is obvious that the joke wasn't funny, you can say, "Too bad, that joke seemed to work much better in rehearsal with my subordinates." Or, "That joke clearly indicates my intended career switch to comedy needs a re-evaluation." Or, "Oh well, that joke seemed like a good idea at the time," which will get people laughing as you make fun of yourself. The key is to let it die a natural death and not keep referencing it after the initial recovery. You are hopefully going to provide things in your talk which will grab the audience's interest, and they will forget that as a comedian, you are pretty ordinary. Once upon a time, I was the MC for an event involving Paul Keating, then Australian Prime Minister. He was in the green room upstairs in the hotel. And the plan was, as he entered the event hall, I would say in a deep, baritone announcer voice. Please join me in welcoming the Prime Minister of Australia, Paul Keating. Pretty simple, really, except the logistics had a few flaws, as we discovered. The timing had to be as he entered. I would start the welcome. He would come from the elevator and enter the room, and this would require a signal to me on the dais that he was about to enter the room. It was a relay system. One of the Japanese team was posted near the elevator to signal to another colleague near the doorway, who would then signal me to get started. The problem is the Prime Ministers travel with a large body of officials and press entourage, and the Japanese colleague near the elevator saw a bunch of Aussies come out of the elevator and sent off the smoke signal. I enthusiastically launched in my introduction, to rapidly discover no Prime Minister, as it was a false flag. It was pretty embarrassing and lonely up there on the dais. Somehow I managed to eke out, "Thank you everyone for the rehearsal, the Prime Minister will be here shortly," and covered the error with some humour. Unfortunately, my colleagues managed to send another false signal, and the second time I had no witty comeback. Just deep embarrassment. The third time, lucky we got it right. My point is, you can sometimes cover a mishap with some humour. I certainly wasn't expecting that slip-up and had not prepared for it. But after that event experience, I vowed I would be ready if ever there was a next time. Find out more. We come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also are doing custom in-house programs. We do them in both Japanese and English. We do them in our super safe classroom and live online. On the 6th of February, we will have our high impact presentations program. Brilliant course. One-on-one coaching over 2 days, 2 instructors, everything video, phenomenal program. On the 13th of December and later on the 25th, we'll be doing our Dale Carnegie course, Effective Communications, Human Relations. Very good program. Covers a lot of things we all need: leadership, presentation skills, people skills, stress management skills, coming out of our comfort zone skills. You know, it's got a lot going for it, that program. Very good. On the 13th of February, we'll be doing our Leadership Training for Managers program, because you look around, you know, in Japan, most so-called leaders are managers. They're not really leading. They don't understand the difference and they don't know what to do. They haven't been trained properly. This is the course that does all that. So get them into that course if you've got that type of problem inside your leadership group. And I'm pretty sure you have got that same problem. On the 14th of February, we'll be doing our Winning with Relationships selling program. This is the entire sales cycle, but with the overlay of how to become the trusted advisor through having really good people skills and good relationship building skills. So the trust is there. Excellent program. Really, if you're in sales and you're thinking about sales training, this is the program that nails really to the mast the 2 things you need. You need the skills, but you also need the people skills. And this is the program that'll do that for you. Go to our website at www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. That's www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. Lots and lots of value there for you. To do better in Japan, email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching video, then we have nearly 2,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Welcome back. Another common opening problem is the tech. Everything was working like a charm when you got there early and checked the equipment. But of course, as soon as you start, the slides won't come up or the computer stops working. An audience doesn't like it when they have to sit there and watch you trying to reboot the computer or do some deep diagnostic dive to get things working properly. They feel their valuable time is being frittered away by you. Often audience members will shout out useful advice on what you need to be doing, which makes it even worse because you look even more incompetent. What do? There are a couple of choices. If you have someone handy who can work on it to fix the issues in the background, then certainly get them involved and you get straight into your talk sans tech for a little while. This presumes you are prepared enough to give the talk without any slides. And we should all be ready to give our talks without any visuals. This is a vital part of the planning stage and shouldn't be overlooked because according to Murphy's Law, if something can go wrong, it will, and we need to be ready. Once the colleague or staff have resurrected the slide deck, you can pick it up from there. Don't go back and start again. You've already started, so keep moving forward. The other alternative is to give up on slides altogether and use storytelling or word pictures to draw out the detail you want to communicate. You should be using both devices anyway, but you may need to ramp these up more than usual. When I was training to become a Dale Carnegie instructor, my senior instructor played a trick on me, seconds before we were due to start the first tandem class together. He suddenly announced the slide deck wasn't working. We'd have to run the class without any visuals to test my reaction. I was well prepared and had given a lot of talks without slides, so I said, no problem. I was ready to go anyway, which wasn't what he was expecting. The point is, we should always be ready to go without slides every time. Planning for a disaster is 99% of the solution. A usual problem is we are taken by surprise and have no backup alternatives. There are only a limited number of things which will rob us of our acing the first impression, so let's work up a plan B for those occasions. They will certainly happen, and usually at the worst possible time, so let's be ready for them. Did you get value from today's show? If you did, then share the love around with your family, friends and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today and become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week. Remember, I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.